Episode number 2 of the BNI Effect, and this is where my normal role is as a business coach, but in this capacity I'm representing BNI and having a chat to local BNI members about their business, who they are, and the experience in BNI. And today's guest is Aaron Roberts. Aaron, hello.
Oh, hi, Tony. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here, mate. Really appreciate it. Now, let's kick it off by you telling us who you are and what your business is.
Sure. My name's Aaron Roberts. Obviously, I'm a director of MAP Lawyers. MAP Lawyers is a specialist conveyancing firm helping people buy and sell all across Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria.
How long have you been going for?
Just about, probably say 7 years. The first couple of years were a slow start where we tested the business model. We were working out of a spare bedroom at our home, and then probably in the last 4 years, we decided to arc it up and we took an office in the city and hired our first employee. And it's just been a huge arc of growth since then. So yeah, we're now at 9 solicitors and 3 support staff, and looking for the 10th. If there's a great law grad or junior solicitor out there, please reach out.
Amazing. And what a wonderful trajectory. And you know what? It was good enough for Steve Jobs to, start in a garage, or Jeff Bezos. There's a well-publicized, his photo of his first office. So there you go, from humble beginnings, but look where you are to now. So congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
That's okay. Now let's talk about BNI. So how and when were you introduced to BNI?
It's funny, I think BNI is a large network, which it's definitely got brand presence. So I'd heard of it, but I would have to say from an outside perspective, I probably thought it was more of a peer-to-peer marketing scheme. I didn't know enough about it, and I was trying to say BNI. I don't know if I would have had positive associations to it because I just didn't know. About 5 years ago, a real estate agent reached out and said, "Oh, come along." So that was my first introduction, and I was pleased to find out I was completely wrong about those assumptions. It came into a room of lovely people, so and that was the journey. At that point, I thought, well, I heard there was a number of different BNI groups, so although that room was great, I was thinking, well, maybe I should test the waters and see what other groups are out there. So I went around to a couple others, but then realised I found a bit of a unicorn. That initial group was amazing, so I joined that group.
And it's lucky that you didn't listen to your own assumptions, hey, before you went along, you took the plunge, went along and discovered that the reality was very different to what you initially thought.
Oh, 100%.
That's amazing. And how has BNI influenced your view of networking?
I would say we've always met people in business that you come across and you're like, they're amazing at business. They're great at what they do. They leave you from that interaction being positive. You come away being positive, and you don't quite put your finger on the pulse of what that is. I'd probably say from joining BNI and going through the system, BNI is basically crystallizing what it is about, that positive interaction that you have with a business owner, and it's as simple as having that attitude of giver's gain, like looking how you can help the people you meet. That instantly has a positive takeaway. If you meet anyone who's there trying to help you, you instantly go away being positive. And so it's kind of crystallized those elements about what is how to become a good networker, how to succeed in business, which we've always had a sneaking suspicion about it, but it crystallizes in repeatable practices that you go along each week. So yeah, that's I guess how it's changed how I've done it. It's led me understand the deeper steps in terms of good networking.
And it provides you with a process, and steps to follow, like you're saying, Aaron. And then, your job as a member is to follow the steps and trust that when I follow the steps consistently and persistently, then I'll have phenomenal success.
Oh, 100%.
And how do you measure the success of your BNI participation?
Like as well as doing law, I'm also an accountant, so I love my data. So I've always measuring it in terms of a numbers side. I do look at that. I look at the amount of work that I get from it, looking at the time, the amount of work I get from it to the time invested far outpaces it. But It didn't at the beginning. You had to invest, and so the metrics have definitely stacked up for me in joining the group. Like as I said at the beginning, we started working from home to where we are now. We started here in Brisbane, but we're not from Brisbane. We moved here about a year prior to starting the business. We didn't have any networks. BNI was that network, and it was definitely almost like a accelerant to our business to get it to where we are now, and hopefully it'll continue to help us grow.
Absolutely, but like you were saying early on, things don't happen instantaneously. So you obviously had to work at it. You're very, analytical in what it is that you do, and constantly, following that system, doing all the things that you required. But again, with the view that when I stick with this long enough, then it will bear fruit.
Definitely.
How has your business evolved since joining BNI?
Our business has definitely evolved in terms of the nature of what we do. Like we initially started, we were just doing Brisbane, then we expanded Southeast Queensland, then the whole of Queensland, and then now we do New South Wales and Vic as well. So like our business has definitely evolved, like starting from having that first solicitor that we employed to now having 9, like a huge evolution. But and it's as any good business, you develop and you change over time. So everything about our business, I look back at some of the things we did 5-6 years ago to what we're doing now, like they're barely recognizable. I guess if you use the word evolution, we're probably looking at a monkey and we started as a fish. That evolution points that they almost don't look like the same, any connection at all. That's how we've evolved. So yeah, and BNI's been a big part of that journey.
Fantastic. And so, you mentioned that you're now interstate. So then has BNI played a role in opening up those avenues for you, Aaron?
At this point, there is a part that it has, but the great thing is, and I'd say to any BNI person out there, make sure your profile's updated on BNI Connect. So it definitely has. Like I get random BNI members from interstate that reach out and say, oh, I see that you do X. Would you be able to help? And I help them in that avenue. Most of our work that we've gotten from BNI has been Queensland focused, but that's just because I haven't been pulling the lever. But the opportunity to do that when I want that, we have those networks, and that's the beauty of BNI. Like you can reach out to members in those other states. In terms of our workflow, like we do a lot of work, so we're doing like 20-50 transactions per week. We don't really have the capacity to really want to be leveraging it too much more, but I know that lever's there if I need it.
Yeah, fantastic. So you mentioned that one piece of advice being update your profile for members. What will be another piece of advice for members to get the most out of their membership?
It's all about investing in people in BNI, your network, or like invest into them in terms of time and opportunities you give to them. So like if you want to get the most out, that givers gain philosophy, like when you go along to that BNI group, look around that room. Who is in there? How can you help them? And just keep thinking about it. And each week, keep listening to their 45 seconds or minute or whatever the length is in your chapter and think, how can I help that person? It just pays dividends in the long run. But it pays dividends, but I personally don't focus on the dividends. It feels bloody great to be able to help a friend, someone you like, if you can connect them with something. So I focus on that, and I do know the tail end always ends up coming back and paying dividends, but I'm focusing on the selfish aspect, that it feels good by helping.
Yeah, how can I help someone without expectation? And that's the law of reciprocity, or giver's gain is the term.
I would say though that's one half of the coin. The other half, you've got to make sure those 3 other elements being know, like, and trust. So you've got to make sure everyone knows you in that chapter and they know what you're doing. They like you, and then they trust you. So if you head off all those components, I don't know how you cannot succeed out of BNI.
So you give yourself every chance of success. I love it. Fantastic. You mentioned the evolution of your business, but what's the future hold for your business?
Our future, from day one, like it was probably aspirational saying it, but our goal was always to be a national property firm. So we're just slowly stepping towards that. So over the next couple of years, we'll look at how we can activate the other states and grow into those. But like everything, quality is key. So we spend a lot of time before opening up in a new state. So like it will be a slow progression there, but yeah, looking forward to being that one stop that if you're buying or selling it across Australia, Map Lawyers is the name, hopefully, that people can trust and come to.
Amazing. And how do you see the role of BNI playing as your business evolves to being a national leading conveyancing firm?
I'd probably go back to that first thing about givers gain. It's not really so much what I'm thinking I'm going to get from BNI. I look at it as BNI have been a massive part of the journey to get us to there. It's more what I can do for other people in the network as we grow as a business. It's just going to accelerate the opportunities that I'll be able to help other people with. Yeah, the givers gain will hopefully circle back and will continue to grow as well.
Amazing. If you could share one piece of wisdom to the listeners, whether they're in BNI or not, what would it be, Aaron?
About business in general, I'd probably say I think the success in business is hard work. Often it gets sometimes romanticized that maybe it's not all about hard work. Maybe it's about, I don't know, that coming of age, like the beautiful girl. I think there's a movie walking down the stairs and she lets out her ponytail and then they see how beautiful she was, or that they were luck, like that there was always that person just waiting to shine. It's not that person, that beauty walking down the stairs. She spent hours in her room getting ready for that occasion. Just like in business, like you've got to like work hard. So there's automatic lights going out. Just hopefully that comes back on. There we go. And just like in business, you've just got to work really hard, and it's hard at the start, and you just keep slugging away. The key of that, though, if you want to slug away, is ensuring that you've got good people by your side that will support you in your journey and are aware of what you're doing. I personally have been very lucky. Like my wife is my business partner. We've been together and we've driven through that. So yeah, I would say be prepared for hard work and ensure you've got the right people by your side to support you through that journey, and they're aware of what your goals are.
Absolutely. And then also, that's also a role that BNI plays, in that supportive network, to help you out and, coming across all sorts of different professionals and consultants, tradespeople, whatever it might be, to provide support to you on your journey.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more.
Outstanding. Well, how can the listeners learn more about you and Map Lawyers?
Well, if anyone wants to reach out to me, I've got more. I am happy to share my time with any BNI members. So you can connect with me through either BNI Connect or connect with me on LinkedIn. My direct email is aaron.roberts@maplawyers.com.au, or if you're just wanting to follow Map Lawyers, like we're on all socials, so probably easiest go to our website www.maplawyers.com.au and click on any of the social links, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. So there's links off to there and you can follow us. And but also, if anyone has any questions where you don't have to be a client, just pick up the phone. We're always happy to help.
Well, that's outstanding. Thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate that. And so, yes, please, if you're looking for some advice on BNI or some advice on, conveyancing, then please reach out to Aaron and the team at Map Lawyers. Hey, Aaron, it's been terrific. I've really enjoyed spending these few minutes with you, getting to learn more about you and more about your business and your BNI journey. And I want to really say thank you, mate, for giving up your time.